Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Yoga for Skaters YouTube channel. My name is Ace, your friend in yoga and off skates training, and today we have a slow flow practice. In this practice, we're going to pay special attention to lengthening the hamstrings to support our restorative bridge practice. So for this practice, you will want to have two blocks, as we're going to be using a block under each hand for some of our standing poses, but that's all you need. So let's go ahead and get started. So once you've got your two blocks, let's go ahead and get started in child's pose for today. As you find your way to child's pose, you can choose to bring your big toes together and keep your knees wide, or keep those knees together. And then just bring the forehead to your mat, reaching the arms overhead, nice and gentle. Let's take a few deep breaths along the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. Two more breaths there. And we'll take these next two breaths to set an intention for your practice here today. What brought you to the mat? Why are you needing to slow down your practice today? And then just keeping this intention with your awareness as you continue to breathe and move here. We'll start with that next inhale, shifting forward to tabletop position. And then just taking a few rounds of cat-cow on your pace. So as you inhale, we'll find that arch of the spine, look up. And as you exhale, go ahead and press down, rounding the spine. Yeah, again, inhaling. And if you're moving at a different pace than I am, that is totally fine. Just pairing the inhales and the exhales with a movement. We'll do one more time here, wherever you're at. And then making your way into that tabletop position with a nice neutral spine. We'll come right into downward facing dog today. So tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. And as you come into downward facing dog, let's just take a moment to pedal out the feet. So bending the left knee a lot, reaching through the right hip, and then switching sides. Yeah, so side to side as it feels good in your body. If there's any other movements that feel helpful to make, maybe shifting forward and back through the shoulders, you can do that. And then as we start our slow flow here, we'll just begin by bending the knees and feel that tilt of the pelvis up towards the ribs so that we're finding length through the low back. And it's just a gesture of a tuck. We don't actually want to tuck and round the spine. We just want to find that gesture to feel a little more length. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, step your right foot in between the hands, bending into that left knee. And we're just going to bring the blocks to either side of your right foot. We'll be using them in a moment. But let's start by just coming up into our reformed low lunge here. So taking a moment to feel through the bottom of the right foot, the left shin. Where can you find a little bit of engagement? Maybe that left glute. Where can you find a little more reach? Maybe through the left fingertips. Take one more inhale here. Nice. And as you exhale, we'll bring the hands to your blocks and then go ahead and send that right foot straight out in front of you. So we'll keep the hips over that back knee, but we're going to start to work with some more hamstring lengthening here. So as you find this half split Ardha Hanumanasana go ahead and just start to press that right heel down into the floor. If it feels like it is intensifying the stretch, you can always bend the knee a little bit. And then take your inhale. Using the blocks, can you lengthen the heart? Good. Feeling that right hip point back. And then on an exhale, as you're ready, go ahead and just soften your way. You can ease up that drive of the heel. Just soften your way into a nice forward fold over that right leg. Yeah, taking 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. So I'm just bringing my hands a little lower so that I can feel through that forward fold over this right side. We'll take 1 more breath. Good. And then take your time, making your way back up, pressing through the right heel. Good. And then you can put those blocks to the side, whatever you need to do as we step the right leg up and back. And we'll just come into a moment of 3-legged dog. Again, right leg up and back. Yeah. Feeling the right glute, the hamstring. Take 1 more inhale here. And exhale, float that right foot down to meet the left. And we'll find the same thing on that second side. So stepping the left foot in between the hands, bending that right knee. We'll bring the blocks to either side of that left foot. And then finding our way up to that reformed low lunge on the second side. Using an inhale rather, to press through that front foot, drive through the back shin, maybe engaging a little more through the right glute, and reaching a little further up through the right fingertips. 1 more inhale. And as you exhale, same thing as we did on that first side. Bring the hands to your blocks, and then lengthen the left leg straight out. Again, you always have the option to bend the knee if it feels like too much stretch through that hamstring. We really want to meet ourselves where we're at here as far as lengthening goes. And then keeping the hips stacked over that back knee, we'll press through the left heel, inhaling to lengthen the heart. And exhaling to feel that left hip point reach back. Nice. We'll take 1 more inhale upright here. And as you exhale, come on down. You can ease up that push through the heel and coming into your forward fold over this left leg. And just knowing that from side to side, we might have more length, more flexibility, mobility from side to side, but that's okay. That's why we check in. That's why we do this practice, is to work towards that balance, that evenness. 1 more inhale here. And as you exhale, drive that left heel down. Come on up. You can place your blocks to the side. Yeah, and then we'll step that left leg up and back to find 3-legged dog for just a moment. Yeah. Finding some lift from that hamstring, lift from that glute. And then lowering the left foot down to meet the right. Inhaling in this down dog. And exhaling. Perfect. Next inhale, take a look in between the hands. We'll tiptoe our way all the way up to the top of the mat for that easy forward fold. Yeah, next inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, go ahead and reach up, take a look up. And as you exhale, palms together your heart. So we'll move through our flow and then make our way to the floor to continue working with our bridge pose, restorative variations, and other variations. Take an inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, send the hips back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, come all the way down. Go ahead and bring that block in between the knees. As you inhale, rise up for your chair pose, squeezing the block, lengthening the tailbone. 1 more inhale here. And exhale, forward fold. Yeah, you can place that block to the side, step back to your high plank position. Inhale here in high plank. And as you exhale, you can bend the knees, bend the elbows, lower the thighs, the hips, and the chest. And then we'll work an extra back bend in here today. So we'll start with Sphinx pose. Inhaling, pressing the tops of the feet down, giving the glutes a little squeeze to lift the heart, lift the gauge. And then as you exhale, come on down. Good. Slide those hands under the shoulders. We'll come up for Cobra. So again, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the heart forward and up, maybe a little bit bigger back bend than that Sphinx allows. One more inhale. And exhale all the way down. Perfect. Tucking the toes to come all the way up and back to that downward facing dog. Perfect. From down dog, inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, stack the hips, bend that right knee. So a moment to open up that right hip. Yeah, looking underneath the right arm. And then inhale right back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. So we're going to bring the back heel down to set up for Warrior One. As you inhale, rise up. Warrior One. And remembering that our Warrior One, those hips can be angled towards where they naturally set up for this foot position. But then we can take the ribs towards the front edge of the mat. Nice. Inhaling here. And exhaling. Perfect. Let's take one more inhale. Push down to reach up. And as you exhale, bring those hands behind the low back. Interlace the fingers. Good. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Lift. And then we're going to lower to the inside of that right leg for Humble Warrior. Taking a moment to relax the torso. Maybe the knuckles drift overhead. Inhaling. And exhaling. Perfect. As you're ready, bring the knuckles onto the low back. Undo that interlace. And then frame your foot. Once again, bringing the gaze towards the front edge of your mat. Frame your foot with those blocks. So from here, we're going to straighten the front leg. And then ever so slightly, if you feel like you need it, you can step that back leg up. And you can set that back leg wider if you'd like to as well. So we're setting up for pyramid pose here. From the bottom, we're going to come into kind of a straight or a long spine variation of this pyramid pose. So as you're here, we'll think about sending the right hip point back. Yeah, and then leveling that left hip point with the right. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. So just like we do with that half lift. And as you exhale, can you really think about pushing into your mat? So pushing down through the bottoms of the feet. Yes. Take one more inhale with a nice long spine. And then as you exhale, you can either lower the setting of your blocks or bring the hands to the floor to come into this forward folded variation of a pyramid pose. And as you're here, once again, we're focusing on finding some more length in the hamstrings, finding some strength with those hamstrings in their lengthened position. So we keep pushing the floor away with the bottoms of the feet. Yeah, take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, go ahead and soften the knees so you can step back into your high plank position. Inhaling in high plank. As you exhale, you can lower from high plank or bring the knees down, then the elbows. Yeah, starting with that Sphinx pose, elbows under the shoulders. In this Sphinx pose, press those toes down. Find that lift of the hip points. Yeah. And then as you exhale, relax it down. Sliding the hands under the shoulders, this time as you inhale, lifting up and maybe just working that range of motion as you press the hands into the mat. Lengthen the heart forward. One more inhale. And exhale all the way down, all the way up and back to downward facing dog. A moment in down dog, maybe bending those knees if that helps support even more length through the low back. Inhale. And exhale. Next inhale, reach the left leg up and back. Stacking the left hip, bend the left knee. Yeah, and then finding that moment to open and look underneath the left arm. And then as you're ready, stepping that left foot in between the hands, setting up for warrior one on the second side. Inhale, rise up. Nice. Exhale, settling into your pose. So the lower body is strong, aligned, as the upper body is organized by the spine, right? Yeah. Inhale, press down. Exhale, reach through the fingertips. Nice. One more inhale here. And then we'll go ahead and find the opposite interlace. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, forward folding to the inner edge of that left leg for your humble warrior on side 2. Perfect. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the low back, undo the interlace, and then position yourself once again. Blocks or hands to either side of that front leg will straighten the front leg, maybe stepping that back foot up if you need to, but still having those toes angled about 45 degrees or more towards the front edge of your mat. And then a moment to breathe here. Inhale, press through the bottoms of the feet. Exhale, lengthen through the spine. So we feel that left hip point reaching back, the right hip point staying level with the left. Good. As you're ready on that next exhale, keeping the lower body strong, engaged, in contact with the mat, go ahead and float the torso over that front leg for your forward fold in pyramid pose. Yeah, inhaling. And exhaling. Nice. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, go ahead and soften the knees, step back to high plank position. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, lower your way down. Another moment for Sphinx and Cobra, starting by bringing the elbows under the shoulders. Inhale, press down to lift up through the upper back. Using those contact points and that bit of a tilt of the pelvis, that posterior tilt of the pelvis to keep the spine long. One more inhale. And then exhale, relax. Hands come under the shoulders. Next inhale, rise up for your Cobra. So it could be a little bigger every time. And then all the way down. Yeah, all the way up and back to downward facing dog. Nice. Inhaling in down dog. As you exhale, walk your way all the way up to the top of your mat. Coming into that easy forward fold. All right, next inhale, halfway lift. Hamstrings feeling nice and open. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. And exhale, palms together at your heart. So let's make our way to the floor, starting with the inhale, reach up and look up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Grab your block. Bring it between the knees, sink the hips down and back. Inhale, rise up for your chair pose. So one more round here, squeezing the block, lengthening the tailbone. Yeah, inhale. As you exhale, can you start to come all the way down? You may remove that block. Beautiful. And all the way to your seat. Perfect. So from here, keep the fingertips reaching forward. Slowly, slowly roll your way back. Perfect. And then just take a moment here to take the feet as wide as your mat and then rock the knees to the right, rock the knees to the left, and just take a few reps here, rocking side to side. Yeah, just kind of mobilizing a little more through the hips. Give the low back a little more space. Good. And then step those feet right back to hips distance. So we'll start with our restorative bridge variation, bringing the arms overhead and that block between the knees. And as we work here, we've got that posterior pelvic tilt. We're pressing down through the bottoms of the feet, engaging the glutes, using those hamstrings to rise up. Yeah. And thinking more of that kind of slant rather than that arch for now. Can you really squeeze the block? Press that space between the shoulder blades into the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. One more inhale. And as you exhale, gently find your way all the way down. Perfect. Good. And then you can set that block to the side. So we are going to move into bridge pose. If you'd like to stick with the restorative bridge variation, by all means, please do that. Otherwise, we know that we can use that pelvic tilt, more posterior pelvic tilt, for a little more length in the spine. We can anteriorly tilt or tilt the pelvis forward and down if we've got that range of motion that we want to work with for this bridge. So we'll start as you inhale, go ahead and lift on up, finding that same form, more of the posterior tilt to start. And then as you're ready, you can drive the arms into the mat, press through the hip points, maybe starting to feel that anterior tilt. Finding 3 breaths wherever you decide to hold. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Use that exhale to slowly, slowly roll your way down. Good. And then from here, bring the bottoms of the feet together. Let the knees open for Supta Baddha Konasana. And maybe bringing the hands to your belly. Inhale nice and deep. And as you exhale, just feel the belly deflate, easing up from here. One more inhale. And exhale. And then from here, using the hands to draw the knees back up. We're going to find one more round of bridge pose. So that restorative variation or full bridge pose, keeping the arms along the side body. And maybe tucking the arms behind the upper back. So using the inhale, go ahead and lift up. If you want even more leverage for that range of motion, tuck the left shoulder behind the upper back, tuck the right shoulder, and then interlace the fingers, pressing down through the outer edges of the arms, reaching up with the hip points. Nice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And as you exhale, gently begin to make your way down. Good. And then this time, taking the feet as wide as your mat. Let the knees rest in on each other. Hands to your belly once again. Deep inhale. Full exhale. One more full inhale here. Full exhale. And then gently hug your knees to your chest, but only so far so that you can still keep that low back connected to your mat. So if you roll up so much that your spine rounds, just take a moment before we do that to just hug the knees gently to the chest. Breathing into that low back inhale, feel the pressure to your mat. As you exhale, kind of just softening a little bit more. Good. And then extend that right leg. We're going to take the left knee all the way across to come into a final spinal twist here. So as you come into your final spinal twist, lay all the way on that right side. Good. And then you could reach the left arm open. And for this final spinal twist, if you'd like, you can bend that right knee, reach for the right foot with that left hand as we take this variation of a twist. I like to call this one a windmill. If you've got another name, you can call it that too. But then from here, you can use a block under the left knee. You can use a block under your head. But we're finding this final spinal twist as a moment to relax. And just use some of that space and range of motion that we found through the low back with this twist. Good. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, you can gently release that right foot, bringing the left hand back into the right. Good. And then rolling right back onto your back. Yeah, if you need to wiggle the hips around, you can do that. And then let's set this up on the second side. So right knee to your chest, left leg long. Come to lay on your left side. Perfect. Yeah, and then bringing the right arm open, maybe bending the left knee to grab the left foot. If you did this on the first side and want to try it on the second side, you can do that. And then I'm just going to use this left hand to kind of guide the right knee down. And then our nice resting breaths here, inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Yeah. 2 more breaths right here. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, gently release that left foot. You can roll back onto your back. And then just evening out the hips for a moment. Yeah, we'll start by just gently hugging the knees in the way we did last time, keeping the backs of the hips connected to the floor. We'll take a breath here. Inhale. And then as you exhale, hug those knees in even tighter so that the low back rounds. So we're kind of in our child's pose, but on our back. So where we start is where we land. As you're ready, ease up that knee hug. Lengthen both legs straight out in front, relaxing the arms along the side body. We'll take a final moment here in Shavasana. And as you step back from your practice, can you take a moment to recall your intention from the beginning of class? And see if you can just keep this intention as a focal point as you notice your body, your breath, your mind. When the mind starts to drift off, can you bring it back to your intention? And then taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, let go of anything that seems will get in the way of your intention. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take another breath here. If you want to reach the arms overhead and lengthen the legs, you can do that. And then gently hugging those knees in, rolling to one side, and making your way up to a final seat together. So bringing the palms together, your heart. And you've got your intention at the top of mind. Take a moment now to set or to make a connection between your intention and your practice here today. Keep this connection close as you move off the mat and into the world. The light and the teacher in me sees the light and the teacher in all of you. Shanti, peace, namaste. All right, thank you so much for joining me for today's slow flow. I'm glad we could get into our back bends once again, as well as some more hamstring lengthening and strengthening to support those back bends. All right, I will see you next time.